everyone, this is Peter from goodereader.com, and today we are going to show you guys a Acer Iconia W3 reading review. This is not the full review. If you'd like to see the full review, you can go to youtube.com/goodereader and check it out there. We will show you an in-depth look at the hardware, software, all the great features, all the preloaded Acer apps, and so much more. Today we're just going to show you four main things: how reading looks like with an ebook, a magazine, a newspaper, and a comic book, and we're just going to dive right in for you. So, first thing we're going to look at is the Kindle app, and we're just going to look at the World Set Free. Now you can see here that everything is highlighted and it's all sepia or sepia. What you want to do to change all this is swipe up, click on the text options. Nothing changes live, so you're going to have to change it yourself, and then you're going to have to click apply settings. Afterwards, it will change everything to your specified settings. Much like on Android and iOS, you press and hold to start a highlight or start your little anchor points. What you'd want to do here is just single click, kind of acts like a left click on a mouse. From there, you can make your highlights. Click to make a note. You get a definition there. Here's the keyboard. Good time to show you. Insert that. I don't know what happened there, but it inserted a email address. So we'll go ahead and save that. So there you go. We've made a note. And page turns are perfectly fine. I mean, it doesn't take much power to run an e-reading app, so we'll just show you once again. You can change all the settings like that. Changes pretty fast. It's an extra step that you have to go to this view options, and it doesn't change live, but I mean, it gets the job done. And the screen is actually pretty big, so you do get to fit a lot of text on the screen, and the reading experience is pretty much overall good. Next thing we're going to look at is Zinio. And this is a magazine reading app, and sometimes it crashes when we open it up without closing it, so that's kind of weird, but nevertheless, we will go to look at a surfer magazine. You see here up top, you get a quick kind of visual table of contents, and how to get that is you swipe from the bottom up. So we'll go ahead and look at a picture. This is just to give you a little bit of look on how color looks and all that. So it looks pretty good. Things load pretty quickly, seeing that we just opened it up again. The reading experience is not that bad on a magazine. Depending on the magazine, you may be able to double tap to kind of go into like a view, zoom mode. You can pinch and zoom from there. Kind of double tap to get out of it to the full page spread. I think magazines obviously are meant for portrait, but when you have this 2-page spread, I think it looks really good in landscape, especially on an 8+ inch screen. And you get the full page spreads like this, which you can't emulate on portrait mode. It's pretty readable, pretty good. It's pretty quickly to render too when you double tap. So overall reading experience on a magazine on the Acer Iconia W3 is pretty good. We're going to look at Newspaper Direct, and this is a newspaper. This is the press reader app by Newspaper Direct. And you can see here that it is indeed the full newspaper experience. You're going to get everything you would expect to see in an actual newspaper, from ads and games and puzzles and TV listings and all that kind of stuff. Here's an ad right here for Home Trust. So if you wanted to get a in-depth look, you can go like this, find that sweet spot. Something you can't really do on a real newspaper unless you have like a magnifying glass or something else, but not too bad. Took a little bit to render there because newspaper is quite large and extensive, and there's a lot of text to go through, but it's overall not going to destroy your reading experience. Swipe up from the bottom, you get your visualized table of contents like you would with the magazine, and you can see here, we'll go to this ad for Bad Boy Superstore. No HST, woo! And yeah, I mean, this is the experience. It looks pretty good, and the newspaper would show itself more in portrait, but for the sake of this video, to maintain the aspect ratio and not have big bars on either side, we're keeping it in landscape, but needless to say, it does perform well no matter which way you hold it. Last thing we're going to look at is a comic book. This is a comic book utilizing comics by Comixology. You can see here that, I'll repeat myself once more, media like newspapers magazines, comic books, mangas, they all look better in portrait. That's just the way they're made. They're made upright, so you can stack them on a shelf, and you know they look all nice, and they just, that's the way they were always made. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Other than those old Garfield comic books that were surprisingly landscape, no, they always look better in portrait. But what actually doesn't is these full page boxes. So you can use guided view to go panel by panel, and you get these ones like this that just look fabulous in landscape. So really using the screen to its full potential. Another thing Windows tablets do very strangely is zoom. You will notice that we can zoom forever until we get to 1 pixel, which you can do. It's a very useless feature. You don't ever need to zoom that much, but it does come in handy when you want to see little intricate details and maybe get a full page look on the text. Other than that, you'd probably just want to stick to guided view. Gets the job done pretty well. Colors are good, speed is good, resolution's great, and now we're prompted to buy the issue. Tablet overall is pretty good for reading, and what we're showing you in this review is reading. If you want to see our full review, you can go to youtube.com/goodyreader, and you can watch all of our videos there. We have over 630 videos you can watch, and the only shortcoming of this is that if you lean 45 degrees angle around the screen, it becomes virtually unreadable. It's very weird. It just goes away. Like, the viewing angle is horrible on this device. I don't know why. I mean, Apple products, if you guys have an iPhone, you can check right now while you're watching this video. If you hold an iPhone, I'll just show you with a phone here. If you hold an iPhone like that, or like that, or like that, you probably will still see the screen. This device is very strange. It has this weird film over it that really just washes it out unless you're looking at it head on. Even me right now, all of us around the review table, we're looking at it at an angle, but the camera is looking at it straight on, which is why it looks proper. But needless to say, the reading experience is very good on this device. Everything's really fast, everything's really snappy, nothing really crashes too often. A couple things here and there, but nothing to really break your experience. And this is the Acer Iconia W3, so it is actually one of the most affordable Windows tablets out there. I think it ranges anywhere from $349 to $400 depending on which market you're in. Last thing to mention, this has nothing to do with reading, by the way, but this is the 32 gigabyte version, which means you should have 32 gigabytes of storage. But as you can see, we are on our desktop version here, where you have your taskbar and all that fun Windows stuff. You'll see here that, if you can't see that, it says 28.4 gigabytes of storage. So you don't really get 32, you get 28. After all the essential downloads, updates, and apps that get pre-installed, you actually only get 10. We've only updated a couple more things since then, about a week later, and downloaded a couple of apps, and we only have 5 left. So out of this 32 gigabytes, a week worth of use without even heavy use, we're down to 5 gigs of storage left. So what you might want to do is get a couple 32 gigabyte cards and put them in this device to increase your storage, or just buy the 64 gigabyte. But don't expect to have terabytes and thousands of gigabytes of storage on this device, and you're going to use this as your primary computer, because unrealistic. It's a $300 something tablet with a little bit of a desktop experience. Don't expect too much, but that's just our opinion. If you guys have a different opinion, please express it in the comments below, and if you guys have any questions, you can always send us a message. And for Good e-Reader, this is a reading review of the Acer Iconia W3.